What's up? What's up? What's up? Testing, making sure everything is working well. About to be live. Just 1 second. Getting a phone call right as I go live. Just give me 1 second. All right, we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Let me make sure I get back on screen first, real quick. Sorry if you guys can't see me. We're about to be back on here in a second. And I'm back again. All right. Let's see. I am actually officially live right now. Let me go to my channel. Let me go to Fortunately, I'm only live on one thing on YouTube for some reason. Alright, we are live on Kick and we are live on the. Fortunately, I'm only live on one thing on YouTube for some reason. We are live on Kick. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Alright, what's up, everybody? So, right now we are about to do our weekly analysis on NQ, or to get a forecast on like what this upcoming week is going to look like. So, first, let's go ahead and hop over to Forex Factory for news. Monday's going to be a no news Monday. I mean, there is news, but it's like later in the evening. This doesn't matter because we trade during the morning. So, no news Monday. Making sure to treat the 9:30 open as a manipulation leg and then trading on whichever side the market ends up giving us. So 9:30, use that as the basically as the driver and manipulation to make your plays. On Tuesday, we have a red folder at 8 a.m. Which is 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'm in Mountain Standard Time, everyone. So these times are going to be different, but always go off Eastern time. So at 10 a.m. we have the Jolts job opening on Tuesday for red folder news. Wednesday we have PMI and employment, the ADP non-farm employment change. I don't really know what that is, but I know PMI. That's going to be at 8 a.m., 10 a.m. Eastern. And then Thursday, we have unemployment claims at 6:30, which will be 8:30 Eastern time. And then Friday is also going to be a really big day as well. So using these drivers as a push for whichever direction that we want the market to go on that day, just based off of what the market ends up giving us. So if we go to here, we're going to hop over to the weekly time frame. As you can see, we traded at all-time highs in the previous week. We took out this previous high price came down, and then there's still a pretty big gap to fill down here. As you guys can see, let me make sure to adjust this on the main screen and then go from there. So as you guys can see, we have this gap right here. 1 second. All right, so we have this gap, this weekly gap right here. Let me go ahead and draw that in. Which, if you guys follow CTR or candle range, no, CRT, my bad, candle range theory, as you guys can see, this would be the first candle. With candle range theory, it's a 3 candle setup. So you have the first candle, the second candle, and then the third candle. So this candle is the first initial candle. This candle took out this candle's high and closed within the range, meaning ideally that this candle is going to try to go for this low, and that would be going back towards our internal liquidity, which is ideally what we're going to be, which is ideally what we want to look for plays. So ideally this upcoming week is going to be looking, just based off of this weekly setup right here, potentially like we will be having some short plays going to the downside, taking out this low right here of last week and tapping into this range, and then potentially even going back up back to all-time highs in the next week. But let me just change this real quick. All right, so yeah, that's kind of like what my play is this week. So we had this large distribution move up. Then during this week, we had the high taken out of the previous week. We fell back into this candle's range, and then we created this low down here, which is lined up perfectly with the fair value gap here. We take out this low, have potential to go high, or we inverse this weekly gap and then continue to reach lower for these other lows down here. But we don't know that until we see what the market gives us, and we just have to patiently wait for that to happen. And if we go down to the daily, what we see here on the daily, we have another, on the daily we do have this gap here that's being respected. So ideally, like what we would want to see, like if we're going to be bearish, we want to inverse this this gap here, continue to look lower for the internal liquidity, and then you know, play the moves going lower. Or if, you know, this continues to bounce from here, we may potentially have a touch up to here, a touch up to these highs. Draw these out right here, and then excuse me, these highs up here, and then we have this low, and this low. Cool. So yeah, basically like what we would want to see from this point is either an inverse of this gap here, if we're going to try to expand and go lower, take out these lows and reach into this weekly gap here so that we can expand higher. Or potentially what could happen is, just based off of price bouncing off of this daily gap from Thursday, from Thursday we can see a move up to here, we take out the high again, and then maybe go back down, or we continue just to expand and continue to reach all-time highs. And then with all-time highs, those are pretty easy days to trade. Usually you just go long. I don't try to, you know, catch the top and then ride it down. It's just best to go long on those days and just find the right setups from my personal experience. But Yeah, so this is pretty much my weekly breakdown of this week. Um, Gonna see how things play out going into the next week, and I will see you guys in the morning. Um, and then yeah, we'll start going from there and seeing how things go. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right, peace.